John Osborne here. Let's do the FX Education Outlook for August 17th, 2017. We'll start out by looking at the Euro US dollar. You can see here that we are in a daily downtrend here, connected by these couple of pivots, and we're just waiting to see if we can break above there. This daily downtrend is not surprising following this pretty significant move up here. We went through our previous target here, and we actually pulled back a little bit. So this little bit of consolidation here is not unexpected. You can see we're still strong in our weekly, and if you look at the Euro US dollar monthly, you can see that what we've done so far is we've pulled back and retested the previous support, which is this previous pivot right here. So what's interesting is we've got a good setup here for a potential pushback if we can get through this trend line. So let's keep an eye out to see if we can break through this trend line here at 1.18008 for a potential trade, and to see if it can run up a little bit higher. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this line over and watch along this whole longer trend here. For the euro pound, you can see that we are moving up towards that previous pivot that we can see here on the weekly. And look at these long tails that we're getting here. That implies that while price did move down intraday, they were pushed back before the close by the bulls. So there's not much of an initiative for it to run lower. Therefore, we're still looking to be bullish as we approach this line. And we could see a nice pop at some point after this line. Maybe we'll get a little bit of consolidation after the break, etc. But let's see what happens. And I want to see if we can break through that 91442 before we look for a potential entry. On the bearish side, we've got the Kiwi yen. This one's interesting because this is the one where we drew the two trend lines. We started with this one connecting these first two pivots, and then we had a second one connecting the initial one and the second pivot. Well, look how price came down and stopped pretty much right on that first line. Went back up again and now has made a move during the day today that's pretty bearish. Our daily MACD is looking pretty bearish, and we're sitting right on that trend line. So a potential trade here might be on a break of this trend line. That's at about 79.50 or so. And a first target would be this trend line down here. We do have a little bit of a pivot we have to break through here and possibly here, but in general it's looking pretty good. And we do have what we call a divergence, it looks like, forming on our monthly. So it's not too strong of a divergence, but it's possible that could be making an even stronger case to enter bearish. Oh, and one other thing too is looking at the 240, we are sitting right on this previous support here. So yet again, another interesting combination of all things coming together here. For the pound yen, you can see we're sitting along this line. We broke through it and then we moved along it. We got the long wicks again, indicating that it didn't want to go higher. Now we got the big move today. So we're now moving down lower and heading down towards the 139.837 support. And if we can break through that, then we move on down to this support here. So we're looking bearish on our 4-hour and also on our daily, and we're breaking through the weekly trend line as well. So that one's looking quite bearish. The Aussie US dollar, this one's interesting because we went up and we broke through the trend line that we had here from this barely formed pivot that we have here, a double pivot. So the trend line, and you can see we went down and retested our target and then bounced hard back up again. But look at the long wick here, and not a lot of momentum to keep us going forward. So you can see it a little bit better on the 4-hour chart. That's also competing with the 200 bar moving average here on the weekly, so that could be playing a part. And with the Aussie yen, you can see we did break down through this trend line here, moving nicely lower. So we're watching for that one to continue moving lower. We can monitor where we are along this line here on a breaking of this previous pivot at 86.338, and the next target would be at 86.037. And finally, the pound US dollar, you can see we are moving back down again after breaking through this trend line right here on the daily, and we are moving back towards this weekly trend line that we have here. And first we have to get through this 1.28110, but we did have a nice down day a couple days ago, and we're just consolidating a little bit since then. But watch that support at 1.28110. Perhaps that'll kick in next week. If you want to jump in a little more aggressively, you can jump in on a break of this line. You can see how many times it's been tested. And so we could be watching for a break there. And I've drawn this line at 1.28110 just to show that I'm also tracking the line from the daily. And that'll do it for today. Remember, you can click on my image to subscribe so you get notified when these videos are published, and you can also click on the upper left to see previous videos. And that'll do it for today. Have a great rest of your day.